Most men think they've got women all figured out. But when it comes to mature female sexuality, the truth is, what you don't know is likely turning her off. Mature women have desires that go way beyond the bedroom. In this video, we'll reveal 5 powerful secrets about female sexuality that can reignite passion, deepen emotional connection, and unlock levels of intimacy you didn't think were possible. Stick around to the end, because secret number 5 is something most men never learn, and it's a total game changer. Don't forget to subscribe for more real talk on love, sex, and relationships. Secret 1. Emotional foreplay first always. When it comes to female sexuality, especially among mature women, the key that unlocks true intimacy isn't what you do in bed, it's what you do before you even get there. That's the essence of emotional foreplay. For many men, sex is thought of as a primarily physical experience. But for mature women, it begins well before the bedroom. It starts with how connected she feels to you emotionally. Her desire is not just sparked by physical touch, but by the emotional climate you create, through your tone, words, attention, and presence. Emotional foreplay means tuning into her feelings, showing consistent interest in her inner world, and making her feel safe, not just physically, but emotionally. This might sound subtle, but it's incredibly powerful. A warm text message in the morning. A lingering hug that isn't a prelude to sex. A compliment that speaks to her character, not just her appearance. These things build trust, desire, and anticipation. Mature women are often more aware of what they need emotionally. They've experienced relationships that lacked intimacy, and they've learned the value of true connection. As a result, their bodies don't respond well to rushed or shallow advances. They want to feel emotionally seen before they'll allow themselves to feel physically open. And here's the beautiful irony: when a woman feels emotionally connected, she becomes more sexually confident. She opens up, explores, and lets herself enjoy the experience fully. Emotional safety fuels adventurousness. A woman who feels adored outside the bedroom will often surprise you inside it. If you want your relationship and sex life to be deeply fulfilling, don't skip the emotional buildup. It's not extra, it's essential. Emotional foreplay is not just talking about feelings, it's creating moments that make her feel chosen, cherished, and safe. When you master this, physical intimacy becomes not just better, it becomes unforgettable. Secret 2. Confidence beats technique. Most men worry far too much about technique in the bedroom. What move to make, how to touch, where to touch, how long to last. But when it comes to mature women, there's one thing that consistently outranks all of that: confidence. Now let's get one thing clear. Confidence isn't the same as arrogance. It's not about dominating or acting like a know-it-all. In fact, many mature women are turned off by that kind of energy. Real confidence is quiet but powerful. It's the steady sense of presence, ease, and emotional maturity that allows her to relax and trust you. Mature women have often moved past superficial games. They don't need a man to impress them with flashy tricks or over-the-top moves. What they crave is someone who is comfortable in his skin, who doesn't seek validation during intimacy, and who knows how to make her feel seen and desired without trying too hard. Here's the truth. Confidence shows up in small ways. It's in the way you hold her gaze without needing to look away. It's in the calmness of your voice when you ask what she likes. It's in the way you listen and adapt, without losing yourself in self-doubt. Confidence tells her, "You're safe with me. I've got you." And that safety? It makes her feel free to let go. Technique can be learned. Anyone can read a book or watch a video. But confidence? That comes from inner work, self-respect, and a genuine understanding of your own worth. And that's incredibly attractive to a woman who has been through enough to spot emotional insecurity from a mile away. Let's also bust a myth. Women don't want you to be a porn star. They don't expect constant perfection or acrobatics in bed. They want connection. A confident man knows how to slow down, laugh, adapt, and ask questions. He's not afraid of silence. He's not rushing toward the finish line. He's present in the moment, not thinking about his performance or comparing himself to anyone else. And when things don't go as planned, a confident man doesn't fall apart. He makes a joke. He resets. He stays emotionally steady. That kind of response tells her that her pleasure and the experience is more important than ego. And that opens the door to even deeper intimacy. Confidence also means being vulnerable. Yes, vulnerability is part of confidence. Mature women find it deeply sexy when a man can say what he's feeling, ask for what he wants, and admit when he's unsure, without acting like he's lost. It shows self-awareness and emotional courage. And those two traits? They're a turn-on. So if you want to attract and satisfy a mature woman, focus less on moves and more on mindset. Do the inner work to know your own value. Practice being fully present, and let go of the idea that sex has to look or feel a certain way. Because here's the truth, a confident lover doesn't just give pleasure, he creates safety, freedom, and unforgettable connection. And that's something no technique can teach. Secret 3. Touch beyond sex. One of the most misunderstood aspects of female sexuality, especially among mature women, is the power of non-sexual touch. Men often assume that touch is only meaningful when it leads to sex. But for women, especially those with more life and relationship experience, that assumption can create a wall between emotional intimacy and physical closeness. Here's what most men miss. Touch that doesn't aim for sex is often more erotic than touch that does. Why? Because it builds safety, anticipation, and connection, all essential ingredients for true desire. Mature women have learned to detect when a man is only affectionate as a means to an end. A back rub that turns into groping, a kiss that immediately moves toward the bedroom, it sends a message, I only touch you when I want something. Over time, this creates distance. She may withdraw emotionally or feel guarded, and sex may become less frequent or less enjoyable. But when you touch her without any agenda, just because you love being close to her, it reawakens the sensual connection that often fades in long-term relationships. Holding hands during a walk, placing your hand gently on her back while cooking, cuddling at night without expectation. These small, non-sexual gestures make a woman feel valued, cherished, and secure. And that sense of safety? It's the fertile ground where real sexual desire blooms. When a woman feels physically safe and emotionally close, she becomes more open, more confident, and more willing to explore intimacy. She no longer feels like she's being pursued for her body, she feels like she's being loved for her whole self. Think of touch as a language, one that speaks directly to her nervous system. Gentle caresses release oxytocin, the bonding hormone, which deepens emotional connection. Even short moments of skin-to-skin contact throughout the day can reduce stress, improve communication, and rekindle passion. This is especially important for mature women whose bodies may be going through hormonal shifts due to menopause or aging. They might feel less naturally in the mood, but that doesn't mean desire is gone. It just needs to be awakened differently. And non-sexual touch is one of the most powerful ways to do that. Touching her hair, massaging her feet, rubbing her shoulders while she talks about her day. These acts don't seem sexual, but they make her feel emotionally and physically connected. They also signal something crucial, I'm here for you, not just for sex. In fact, many women say they become more aroused and sexually responsive when their partner regularly engages in affectionate touch that doesn't lead to intercourse. It makes her feel like intimacy is part of your life, not just a separate, pressure-filled activity. So if you want to deepen your connection, increase intimacy, and make her feel truly desired, focus on touch outside the bedroom. Be intentional, be patient, be consistent, touch her just because you can, not because you're trying to turn her on. Ironically, that's exactly what will turn her on. In a world where touch is often transactional, be the man who offers it unconditionally. That's not only rare, it's unforgettable. Secret 4. Mind is her playground. When it comes to mature female sexuality, one of the most underestimated truths is this: her mind is the true gateway to desire. While physical attraction still plays a role, for a mature woman, the most powerful arousal happens between her ears, not just between the sheets. Unlike younger women who may still be influenced by novelty or visual stimulation, mature women often require emotional intrigue, intellectual stimulation, and imaginative buildup to feel truly turned on. She doesn't want to just be touched, she wants to be mentally engaged. If you want to arouse her body, start by arousing her mind. This is where many men miss the mark. They focus on physical cues and techniques but neglect what really drives long-lasting intimacy, psychological arousal. This includes things like flirtatious conversation, anticipation, shared secrets, and even the playful suggestion of something intimate that's yet to come. The tension, the tease, the unspoken build-up. Think about this. When was the last time you turned her on without touching her? Maybe you left a note under her pillow that hinted at something romantic for later. Maybe you whispered a fantasy in her ear during a quiet moment. Maybe you complimented not just how she looks, but how she thinks, how she lives, how she expresses herself. That kind of attention gets deep under her skin, in the best way. Mature women often live in busy heads. They're balancing work, family, responsibilities, memories, and maybe even healing from past wounds. If you can give her mental escape, a safe space to feel playful, desirable, and imaginative, you'll ignite a level of passion that far exceeds physical touch alone. This doesn't mean being a mind reader or a master seducer. It means being curious. Ask her questions she's never been asked. Talk about things that make her eyes light up. Encourage her to dream, fantasize, and share her inner world without fear of judgment. The more comfortable she feels mentally, the more her body will respond physically. Fantasy plays a huge role here. Many mature women have rich inner lives but are hesitant to share them. Why? Because they've been shamed or dismissed in the past. A man who can gently invite her to explore those fantasies, with no pressure or agenda, is incredibly attractive. It signals emotional maturity, trust, and shared adventure. Mental foreplay also includes storytelling. Try texting her a scene throughout the day, something sensual but subtle. Describe what you want to do tonight, or reminisce about a moment you shared and how it made you feel. This creates anticipation and activates her imagination, which often turns her on more than anything physical. Even things like reading a sensual book together or watching a romantic movie with open conversation can fuel that mental spark. The idea is to build an atmosphere, not just a moment. When her mind is stimulated, her body follows naturally, often in ways that surprise even her. Ultimately, if you want to connect with a mature woman sexually, don't just focus on physical cues. Learn to speak her mental language. Engage her thoughts. Challenge her. Tease her. Intrigue her. And above all, give her permission to express her inner world freely. Because the truth is, a mature woman's desire isn't just about the body, it's about the brain. And the man who learns to play there, he unlocks a version of her that most never get to see. Secret 5. Vulnerability turns her on. One of the biggest misconceptions men have about women, especially mature women, is believing they only want strength, dominance, or stoic confidence. But here's the truth. If you want to unlock deep emotional and sexual intimacy with a mature woman, vulnerability isn't weakness, it's magnetic. Vulnerability is one of the most misunderstood aspects of masculinity. Too often, men are taught to hide their feelings, to never show fear or doubt, and to always have it together. But mature women don't want a man who wears a mask. They want someone real, someone emotionally available, someone they can connect with beyond surface-level confidence. When a man drops his armor and lets a woman see into his inner world, it triggers something powerful in her. It tells her, "You trust me." And that trust builds emotional safety, the true foundation of intimacy. A woman who feels emotionally safe becomes infinitely more open, both emotionally and sexually. Think about the last time you expressed something vulnerable to a woman, a fear, a regret, a deep desire, or even a tender memory. If you did it with honesty and openness, not for sympathy or attention, but simply to share, it probably drew her closer. That's no accident. Vulnerability reveals your humanity, and mature women aren't looking for perfection, they're looking for truth. This doesn't mean breaking down constantly or oversharing everything from your past. It means having the courage to be emotionally honest, to say when you're scared, to admit when you're unsure, to ask for reassurance without shame. These actions demonstrate emotional maturity, and that's deeply attractive. Sexually, vulnerability plays a vital role, too. When you're open enough to express what you like, what you want to try, or even what you've never experienced, it creates space for her to do the same. It removes pressure and performance and replaces it with exploration and connection. Vulnerability says, "We're in this together." And that energy? That's what mature women crave. Many men think they have to perform in the bedroom, to always be in control, always know what to do. But the most intimate experiences often happen when both partners are equally open, emotionally naked, and free from roles. A simple "tell me what you like," or "I've never tried this, but I'd love to with you," can spark more passion than any flawless move ever could. And remember, vulnerability also includes emotional intimacy outside the bedroom. Sharing your dreams, opening up about your struggles, telling her how much she matters, letting her support you when you're having a hard day. These moments create depth, they create trust, they make her feel like you're not just there for her body, you're there as a full partner. For a mature woman who has likely experienced shallow connections or partners who shut down emotionally, your willingness to be vulnerable is a breath of fresh air. It sets you apart from the crowd and makes her feel deeply respected and chosen. In the end, what turns a mature woman on the most isn't bravado, bravura, or bravely hiding your emotions. It's your bravery in sharing them. True strength is knowing you're enough, even when you're uncertain. True intimacy is created not through dominance, but through emotional courage. So drop the act, show up as you are. Be strong enough to be soft. Because when you let her see the real you, she'll give you more of herself than you ever imagined. Conclusion. Now you know, female sexuality, especially in mature women, isn't just about the physical. It's emotional, mental, and deeply human. These 5 secrets aren't tricks. They're truths that most men never discover. But you have, and that sets you apart. If this video opened your eyes, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Drop a comment below. What surprised you the most? And remember, connection isn't about perfection, it's about presence, honesty, and heart. Until next time, stay confident, stay curious, and keep learning what truly matters.